Hi, let's talk about a great underrated movie. I would place it in the genre of suspense, thriller, and horror, but the type of horror or uneasy feeling you would associate with a movie like Seven, I Saw the Devil, and Prisoners. Prisoners is a good example, the type of horror that I'm referring to. These are all great movies. And the movie is called Maharaja. It was released last year, I think June 2024, if I'm not mistaken. It's on Netflix.
I'm gonna reset this whole part. All right. Okay. Let's do a synopsis. If I am echoing, I do apologize. I will figure that out next time. The premise of the story that is presented at first glance is very straightforward. The entire movie seems like it revolves around a break in, a little heist. Just, thieves being thieves, I guess. Property that holds minimal monetary value but has incredibly high sentimental value stolen. We then, as the audience, follow a man's quest for the retrieval of his stolen property. I suggest you don't watch the trailer, as this does present information that you should experience in the movie. Based on that synopsis, the movie doesn't seem that engaging, and honestly, the first 20 minutes or so actually isn't. Like a lot of thriller movies, actually. Next, this is an Indian movie. It's not dubbed in English. You will have subtitles, you will be fine. I suggest you watch the Tamil original with English subs. Here's the hook of the movie, or at least what I would say would be the hook. To keep it vague, as I should, it is very difficult to predict where the movie is heading. The storytelling is not linear, so you are going to have focus at key points in the movie. When the movie does get violent, and it will quite often get violent, the violence is portrayed in a digestible but still gut-wrenching manner. It will keep you engaged. The atmosphere is incredible. The characters, especially Maharaja, who is the main character, and his progression in the movie, especially if you catch the small details, is great. But the biggest hook, at least for me, an opposition that will keep you engaged. I mean the force against our protagonist. So this force would be the antagonist. You will come to a high point in the movie, and from that point you'll be on edge. You will want to see if there is something that will help you scratch that itch that you have developed from reaching that high point in the movie. Let's go over the pros of the movie. There is so much greatness in this film. The first, I would say above all, it does not commit the sin of being boring. I cannot explain to you how infuriating it is when a random movie, simply due to the fact of it, simply due to the fact of it being marketed well, or because it has a high marketing budget, ends up getting a high score on Rotten Tomatoes, simply due to the fact that it's easier to get eyeballs to watch the movie. And then YouTube will present me 10 or so videos of creators praising it. Off the top of my head, The Substance and what was the other one? The Coffee Table. Both are so boring. It is beyond me how people watched that movie, saw what it was marketed as, and still came to the conclusion that yes, they did what they marketed effectively. An absolute lie. I then watched the review or part of it so I don't get spoilers, and based on that, I expect a good movie. It really is. Think The Substance. It wasn't scary, was not effective. In this movie, if you can get over the language barrier, so just learn to read, I guess, then Maharaja is one of the best movies, not just thrillers of 2024, but just one of the best movies of 2024. It's wildly engaging. More rating against mainstream movies, I guess. This wasn't part of this review, but here we go. I saw so many shit movies gaining popularity in the mainstream, and practically 90% of them commit the sin of being boring. There were so many horror movies in 2024, and majority of them were just boring. I love campy movies, really, I do. Lake Placid, Freddy Krueger, any of the new Halloween movies. These movies are fun. They don't take themselves that seriously. And even when they do, at least you get the correct response from creators who come out and say, yes, the movie is not good. Still fun. But I can go on this for a long time, so I'm going to stop and we're going to talk about the next pro, the characters. I would say every character in the movie, be it a major or a side character, are all fun in their own way. If you have watched Game of Thrones, I'm sure you remember that Joffrey was hated. He portrayed the character so well, in a convincing manner. If you think about it, every great hero depends on the opposing villain. Heroes can be incredibly boring, but the villain, the opposing force, has to always have their presence felt throughout the movie, the series, or the book, whatever type of media it may be. This movie does it very well. Hot chocolate. The next pro, minimal music. Again, this is an Indian movie, and as much as I love songs, there is a time and place. I think there was one song in this movie, if I remember correctly, one, maybe two, but the songs do their part in conveying information that do make the movie a little more fun, like little Easter eggs, if you will. The next pro we can talk about is the background, or the background score more specifically. The movie has a great background score. It's thrilling at times and eerie at times, and at times it's very calming, as appropriately as it should be for the scene. Did I mention the movie is very fun? Make popcorn, grab your favorite snack. The movie is great. But the biggest pro, in my mind, is the ending. There is an incredible ending. The movie refuses to fall flat at the end. That's all I'm going to say. I had to take a little intermission. I thought I heard someone. I was about to be engaged in my own IRL horror movie. I think someone heard me speak badly about the substance and they felt offended. I would have won that fight. But back to regular scheduled programming, I guess. What would I consider the cons of the movie? Language. I speak and I understand Hindi. I think there is a Hindi dub. Regardless, I watched the original. I can read, so that is fine. However, I know people who won't watch a movie because it is subbed in English. And I joke, but it is a reality that you are turning yourself away from a huge library of content because of language restrictions. This movie does not help in the fact that the starting 20 or so minutes are quite slow. But if you get past that point, you will not want to use your phone. The movie will reward you. The next con, the woman. There are many great women characters in Indian movies. It's just that there are so many movies released that the opposite seems to be true, that there is a huge lack in female great portrayal, which is not the case. So, woman led movies or great female characters are often sidelined. In this movie, that does happen. Well, it doesn't really happen, but I would have wanted the female characters to appear more because their appearances in the movie are pretty great. And finally, music. Yes, I know what I said earlier about it being a pro, but again, I would have wanted a great ending song or a great ending theme. And that's it. Let me know what you think. I forgot. I forgot. I had to give a rating. It would very easily be 10 Gengars out of 10.